and because of that this pin will not fall down. So as a result the connection is taken place. So you can just have a look at this same figure. So this shaft is what we are going to fit here. This hub is this hub, this fork is this part of the fork, then this 32 mm diameter hole is here. So this is the hole in the fork, this is the other hole in the fork, then this is the hole of the center block which is here, this is the center block, and then this pin with a head here is passing from below. The pin comes out. When it comes out, this collar which is there, that collar is fitted here, and through this a lock pin is fitted, so that what we have just now described, this fork is holding the center block with the help of a pin and a lock pin. So after this much is done, now what happens? You can see there is one more cylinder here, integral with the vertical cylinder. Now because this can rotate like this cylinder which is shown like this right now, it can be rotated, and it can be rotated in this direction. So you rotate it and you can bring it in this direction like this. So once you make it like this, then the fork which is there on the other side, there is one more fork here. So this fork you are going to fit like this in the inclined direction. So this fork is at 90 degrees to this fork. So if I hold my hand like a fork, then one fork is like this, the other fork is like this. Like this. So one fork like this, other fork like this, and the center block which is like this, one is fitted in the vertical, other is fitted in the horizontal fork which is on the other side. So this particular horizontal cylinder is shown here, and then this fork, the second fork which is there on the other side, this is one fork, this second fork. So this fork is shown in horizontal position, and the two sides of the fork, again they have got 32 diameter, and the same second pin is put in this direction. So one pin is like this, and second pin is, you can say it is perpendicular to the page, to the paper. Second pin is perpendicular to the paper, and again it is fitted to the second fork. So now what happens, between the two forks there is a center block, and this center block is connecting the two sides. So now what happens, you can say, let's say if I hold it like this, suppose these two pins they are connected, they are fixed to each other. So these two pins are forming a center block, and my hand, what you are seeing, that hand is working like a fork. So this one fork, this second fork. So these two hands means two forks, two shafts coming from two sides, and even if these shafts are at some angle, still they can transmit the drive. This center block will have a very complex motion, and as a result the drive will be transmitted. You will have to slightly imagine further as to how it will work. So even if the two shafts are inclined, these two shafts, one is like this, the other shaft is inclined to the extent of 15 degrees, 15 degrees, still it is possible to transmit the power from one shaft to another. That is the advantage of this type of coupling, which is called as a universal coupling. Now let's see the next coupling. Now this coupling is called as Oldham's coupling. Oldham's coupling. Now again, this is a coupling which is used for transmitting power from one shaft to another, but the shaft axis may not be in one line. So now see what this says. Suppose this is one shaft and this is another shaft. Earlier we saw all the couplings, they were having the axis in one line. They were having the axis in one line like this. Then we saw universal coupling where one shaft was having axis inclined like this, in the case of universal coupling. Now we are going to see where this coupling is used. This is used when the two shafts are like this, but then they are offset. Offset means they are parallel, but they are not in one line, and there is some distance between the two shafts. So when there is a distance between the two shafts, how are we going to transmit power from one shaft to another? In this example, we are going to see Oldham coupling is what is used over here. So if you see this sectional view and then the isometric view, we can study this and come to know how this works. So look at this coupling sectional view. This is a shaft on one side, and you can see this is a shaft on the other side. This is the axis of left side shaft, this is the axis of right side shaft, and the two shafts are at a distance of 20 millimeters. So they are not in one line, they are offset by 20 millimeters, and we want still the power to be transmitted. So see what is done. On this side there is a flange. So this is one flange with a hub. So with the help of a key, this shaft is connected with key to the flange on this side. Similarly, right side shaft with a key with a flange connected to the right side flange. So this is flange number 1 here, flange number 2 here, two shafts, two flanges, two sides. They are offset by 20 mm. Now how is the shape of this flange? How is the shape of this flange, that we will see. So look at this flange, that what they have shown. This flange, it has got quantity 2. So one on this side, other on the other side. And how is this flange? You can see here, this flange has got a disc shape, and in the disc shape there is a cutout. Now the cutout is there, it is not clearly seen, you can observe this and this. That is a cutout. Now I will draw this flange in the isometric again here, so that you will have some idea of how it looks. So can you see what is drawn? This flange which is shown, this flange has got a something like a keyway, it is cut like this. And similar flange is there, again with everything is same, so two quantity. So see now how the assembly is carried out. These two flanges, this is one flange with a slot, other side again there is a flange on the other side which also has got a slot, and what is fitted into this slot? Now you have to look at this one more part which is there called as a disc. Now this disc is something which is, as you see here, this disc has got something like a keyway projection. Keyway like projection is there on the disc. So one projection is like this and other projection is on the back side, you can see here, and it is at 90 degrees to this projection. So on a disc there are two projections. Maybe you can, I'll just draw it here. This is a disc. So on this disc, this is a projection on one side, and on the back side there is a projection like this. So this projection on one side, this is a projection on the back side. You can see something similar to keys are there. So one key is here, other key is here, but then this they are vertical. One is vertical, one is horizontal, so they are at 90 degrees to each other. So one flange on one side fitting with this key, other flange on the other side is fitting with this key. So like that, now if you observe the given figure, you will realize that here, see in this key, one side, in this keyway, that means in one keyway here, one side projection has gone, and the back side projection which is there vertical, this projection, it has gone to the similar slot on the other side flange in the vertical position. So now what happens, you have to imagine of course for all this. So when one shaft rotates, through the disc, the power goes on the other side, and the disc keeps on wobbling in between the two flanges. It will have very, very complex motion. It will be rotating also, and it will be sliding also into the slots. So all this complex motion is there for the disc, and the power is transmitted from one side to another, even though the two shafts are offset by 20 millimeters. So you can see the end view. This is one circle, one axis, one flange, and this is the other flange which is offset. Therefore, there are two circles, they are not matching, they are offset by 20 mm. So this is called as a Oldham coupling, which we are going to learn, which we have just now learned, and now we are going to draw this figure. So for today's practice sheet, what we are going to draw is starting from types of coupling number 2. First we saw solid flange coupling, then we saw cone friction clutch, then we saw the next part, that is a pin and bush type flexible coupling. Then we saw universal coupling. It has got two drawings, one is the isometric drawing and one is the sectional drawing. And after that we saw Oldham's coupling, which is again shown in isometric and in the sectional front view and side view. So these are the different types of couplings which we have learnt in this session, and now we are going to draw them as a freehand work, and this will be coming under the practice sheet, which is practice sheet number 7, types of couplings 2. Remember, when you are working, you are going to prepare the work on the drawing sheet with a nameplate, and the nameplate you have to write by pen. In the nameplate you have to write by pen only, and that too by blue pen, not by black pen. So you have to use blue pen and write the nameplate. If you are using more number of sheets, then for the next sheet you need not have to prepare the entire nameplate. What you can do is you can just write the practice sheet number like this, P7, and the page number 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, and then your roll number. That is enough for the next sheets. First sheet will be having proper nameplate. Other, suppose you have used 3 sheets, first sheet will be having nameplate, and second sheet and the third sheet will have only the name of the number of the practice sheet and your roll number. Okay, so that is what we are going to prepare for practice sheet number 7, types of couplings 2, and you have to draw all the so many figures which are shown here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and of course some other side views, etc. So these are the different things we are going to draw for practice sheet number 7.